some RSO, Rick Simpson oil, hash oil, Phoenix tears, a lot of different names for it. What I'm going to use mainly good quality buds, which I have in these jars here, and I'm going to use this trim sugar leaves, and we're going to grind all this up, and we're going to decarboxylate it, and I will be back and show you all how to do that when we get to that. Alright guys, I'm back. You're going to want to preheat your oven to 290 degrees, and you're going to want to decarboxylate the all your bud, and if you used shake or trim. I mean, you can add keef into the mixer, it doesn't matter. We're really just looking on as much trichomes as possible, good quality trichomes. So you want to preheat the oven at 290, and we're going to put this in for 1 hour. And if you do it on lower heat, like if you do it at like 280, 275, you can cook it on lower heat, but you're going to have to add more time. So for instead of like an hour, you're going to have to do that for like an hour and a half. But I've always done on 290 from the person that showed me how to do it, and I've always had really good medicine come out of it. So this is the way I'm going to probably keep doing it. But you can mess with your times and all that stuff if you want, but I'm just showing you the way I do it. So I'm going to put this in for an hour, and I will be back. All right, after you've let your weed decarboxylize and turn your oven and stuff off, fill up your jars with alcohol. I recommend doing this with Everclear if you can get it. It's about $20 for a good sized bottle. At least it's like around like 22, 23, like around where I live. I know some places it's not legal. So you can use ISO, isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol, but make sure you use 91% or higher, because if you use less than 91%, like if you get like the 74% or whatever the other one, like they sell like a couple of them for 50%, you're going to have to put it in the freezer and then throw, to get the water to separate from it, to get the alcohol from it. So it's just best to buy the 91%, or really to buy like the food grade alcohol if it's available in your area. And after I put the alcohol in there, when I close them up, I like to shake the shit out of them just to get the stuff mixed. And I'm going to put this in the freezer for 24 hours, and every few hours or so I'll pull the jars out, shake them up, put them back in there, and when this stuff comes out, the alcohol should be like really, really dark brown, almost like a black looking color when we're done, before we cook it off. And that'll be the next stage. So that's right now. Putting these away in the freezer. Oh yeah, by the way, make sure that you either change out your jars or let these jars cool down, what I'm saying? You don't want to be throwing hot glass in the freezer. It'll shatter everywhere, and then you'll be fucking having to start all over. You'll waste a lot of fucking bud, alcohol, and everything else. You'll be pissed. So I'll see you guys in the next step. Alright, next part that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to filter your extraction. I use the coffee filters, the natural brown. Don't use the white ones because they have bleach on them, and you don't want to introduce any unneeded chemicals into your medicine. So you just let it kind of sit in there, filter out until you fill the whole jar up. I'm going to do that for all the jars we had. And with the cloth that we have the actual plant material tied up in, we're going to squeeze it out into that big bowl over there. So when I pour it in there, you want to utilize every drop of it that you can to get the most yield and most out of your medicine as possible. So we'll come back after we get this process done, when we get to the final stage of actually cooking off the alcohol, and explain that to y'all, and we'll get into that. That's an example of how the extracted
alcohol should look, or dark, really dark brown after it's all filtered and stuff. It should be a really dark brown color. The darker it is, the more yield you're going to get out of that extraction. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that dark color like that. Alright, so you got this slowly starting to burn off. You want to do it at the lowest heat possible. You want to bring it up to like a rolling boil, but you want to turn it down real low. You don't want this on high. You get like flames, all kinds of shit, man. You can blow yourself up, so you got to be very careful. Adequate ventilation. Got 3 different fans going. Got the one on the top there sucking the fumes up. I got one fan blowing the smell out of the kitchen. I got another one blowing it out of the rest of the house. I got it blowing out the front door here. So, very important to have adequate ventilation, man, because if you don't have adequate ventilation, man, first off, the fumes are gonna make you probably sick. And second of all, you don't want fumes building up, because then it's a huge explosion hazard. So be very, very careful if I'm doing this. So use proper ventilation. Honestly, if I had my own house on some land, I'd probably be in my backyard cooking this off outside in the backyard. That's honestly the best way to do it if you can. But if you're in an apartment, this is probably the second best thing. But I'll be back when we get down near the end of the experiment. See how that's boiling like that? There's little bubbles. Those little tiny bubbles. That's the last bit of the oil process, man, really. You're just waiting to see that no more of it's boiling off anymore. To stop seeing the bubbles. And all that's going to be like a nice, smooth, clear surface, which I'll show y'all when it's finally finished. And look how low that temperature is. See what I'm saying? And by the time it's done, it'll be just like barely on from that low mark. You just keep lowering that temperature, man, as you go. You're looking for the bubbles, right? To keep coming, to boil it off, but you keep slowing it down. You keep lowering that temperature. And when it's done, when you taste it, all you're going to taste is straight hash. Just straight bud, just straight hash, man, is all you're going to taste. If you taste any alcohol, it means you need to boil it off. But I'm going to show y'all correctly how to do it. How it is when it's, fully boiled off the right way. That's what we're left with right there, guys. Still cooling off some. That's fucking RSO, hash oil, cannabis oil. Still got some of this right here. What I do with this, though, is the same. What I do with all this, I make some tea out of this right here. I make some medicinal tea. So I'm going to do that. But that's how y'all make the hash oil, man. There it is right there. Finished product. Show y'all how we do this here. She got a toothache, so I'll put on that too. Fucking hash oil. That's it right there, man. remember all that oil we had left in that pot, which is right there. They're gonna clean it later. I went ahead and took some of this. What is this stuff called? This type of tea is like in Maharaj Chai Oberon and Samurai Shine Mate Oolong Tea, or I don't know, some stuff we get at T-Bone, some fancy expensive tea, but it's freaking bomb. This shit fucking smells so fucking good. Like straight up fucking like cinnamon and shit, man. Cinnamon and spices is freaking awesome. And we put some couple of cinnamon sticks in there, and brewed it up, and this is what we got. This is the first pass, which has got the most oil in it, but this is all cannabis oil infused medicated tea. And this is the second pass, which is, you can tell by the color, isn't quite as gonna be as strong. But this one would be good for relaxing. This one good. This one will, you know, good cup of that one there will definitely set you up and medicate you, just like if you took a glob of the actual oil. So yeah, that's what I do. Though I don't waste any of the concentrated oil I make. I make tea, boil it off of the, you know, the last amount that's left in the pan. Utilize everything, you know. And that's how the oil comes out when it's done. Just a shiny, black, thick. That's how y'all make oil.